In the year 2142, a One-Yutani drone encounters the drifting remnants of the spaceship USCS Nostromo in the depths of space. An investigation is launched by mass specialists who discover a laboratory containing a curled-up xenomorph in a fetal position. Meanwhile, on the colony known as Jackson Star, a young woman named Rain Corrine awakens to the blaring alarm signaling her work shift in the mines. During breakfast, her adopted brother Andy joins her, attempting to lift her spirits. He hopes to save enough money to fund a trip to Iga, but Rain urges him to be patient as she heads to the colony's office. Rain has met her quota and dreams of leaving, especially since her parents passed away long ago, leaving her with no ties to the star. However, the office worker, acting against the law, refuses her resignation and informs her that the quota has been raised. At that moment, Rain witnesses a group of young thugs attacking her brother. She rushes to his aid, revealing that Andy is actually a synthetic human. After resetting him, he regains consciousness. Shortly after, her ex-boyfriend Tyler calls, asking Rain to meet and discuss a lucrative opportunity. Despite her suspicions about a potential scam, Rain decides to go to the outskirts of town where the space tug Corbelan is docked. Tyler's cousin Jorn and his girlfriend Navarro are busy working on the tug when Rain and Andy arrive, greeted warmly by Tyler's sister, Kay. They inform Rain that they stumbled upon an abandoned spaceship in orbit the previous day. Although they have completed their quotas, the planet's administration is preventing their departure. They plan to take their tug to the derelict ship in hopes of finding cryo chambers that could help them escape to Iga, a planet with better living conditions. They invite Rain along because only a synthetic can interface with the ship's computer systems. Tyler warns her that refusing the offer could mean being stuck in the colony for life. Reluctantly, Rain agrees and the group sets off for the abandoned spaceship. On the journey, Jorn continually mocks Andy, which Rain finds irritating, but the synthetic remains friendly and unfazed. As the tug ascends above the planet, Rain sees the sun for the first time. Eventually, the abandoned structure comes into view, but they realize it's more of a decommissioned outpost caught in orbit, and it's rapidly descending towards the planet's rings. They have only 36 hours before it collides. Rain pleads with Andy to reconsider boarding the ship, but he is bound by a directive from her father to serve her. Once they dock with the station, Andy's signal successfully opens the airlock, allowing Tyler, Jorn, and Andy to enter. Following the scanner's guidance, they navigate to the cryo capsules. Though the systems are malfunctioning and gravity is unstable, the ship's motherboard powers up, activating the oxygen supply. Upon reaching the capsules, they discover that while the units are intact, there isn't enough cryo fuel for the trip to Iga. However, they learn of another cryo chamber aboard that likely contains sufficient fuel. As they proceed, Rain, puzzled by Jorn's hostility toward Andy, finds out that a synthetic previously left his injured mother behind during a mining accident, which has fueled his hatred for androids. Meanwhile, Navarro investigates the capsules and Kay confides in Rain that she is pregnant. The station's systems announce that the facility is divided into two sections, Romula and Remus. Bjorn reveals to Andy the harsh truth. He is only valuable for the initial phase of their plan and will be abandoned afterward. Rain overhears this and feels heartbroken for not having the courage to share the truth with her brother. As the group continues exploring, they are surprised by how the station looks more like it was merely abandoned rather than decommissioned. Bjorn finds an electric whip and taunts Andy again, but the synthetic saves him from falling into a gaping hole where they discover the severed remains of another synthetic. Soon after, they locate a large, still operational cryo chamber and extract fuel from it, inadvertently triggering an automatic lockdown. The lockdown system fails to respond to Andy's commands, indicating that the room may harbor dangers. Determined to rescue the men, Rain and Navarro board the ship. Rain removes a chip from the damaged android and plans to implant it into Andy's brain, hoping it will grant him full control over the station. As Navarro works, she admires the station's intriguing technical features. Suddenly, Andy grabs Rain's hand, and with only Navarro's help, they manage to save her. They locate the others and hand the chip to Tyler, who installs it into Andy. As the synthetic reboots, he experiences visions of strange creatures seated within the ship. Meanwhile, Tyler stumbles upon bizarre bioorganisms in a nearby half-flooded chamber, but he doesn't have time to investigate further before he is attacked by invisible creatures lurking in the water. Tyler tries to aid his friend only to be ambushed by a facehugger. Andy reboots just in time to save Bjorn, and they all flee. The facehuggers break through the doors effortlessly, with one attaching itself to Navarro's face. In a surprising turn, Andy begins to explain the scientific implications of the creature's behavior, leaving the others stunned. Rain realizes that this change is due to the chip, but Andy suddenly refuses to comply with her commands. The chip has not only fixed bugs in his programming, but also nullified his original mission to serve Rain in favor of saving Navarro. In a bold move, Andy activates a damaged android named Rook, a scientist from the station. Rook reveals that the station's crew was annihilated by these creatures and informs them that Navarro cannot be saved. The parasite has implanted a seed inside her that will quickly merge with her DNA, enabling the xenomorph to grow. Rook presents them with a preserved specimen of the creature in the lab and recounts that humans first encountered this species 2 decades ago, with only one survivor who managed to eject the monster into space. When the company learned of its existence, they began searching for it, mistakenly believing it had perished in space, only to find it was simply dormant. Rook proposes freezing the parasite's tail using cryofuel, and when this succeeds, Navarro regains consciousness. However, Rook warns Andy that the facehugger has likely completed its task and advises against allowing Navarro back on the tug. Despite the warning, Jorn insists on bringing Navarro aboard the Corbelan, leaving Andy, Tyler, and Rain behind. Once they detach the tug, Kay awakens, confused about the situation, but soon Navarro begins to feel unwell. As Kay tries to assist her, a xenomorph erupts from Navarro's chest, killing her instantly. The Corbelan crashes into the hangar of Romulus, destabilizing the station's orbit and setting it on a collision course with Jackson's planetary rings. Rain, Andy, and Tyler rush to the hangar to save their friends and escape on the tug. Meanwhile, Rook heads to the command center to communicate with the ship's motherboard. As Tyler and Rain navigate through the station, they encounter more creatures infesting the ship's corridors. Andy realizes that facehuggers cannot see but can detect human body heat. To move undetected, they must raise the air temperature to 36.6 degrees Celsius and remain silent. They carefully execute this plan, making their way toward the hangar. In one of the corridors, Kay escapes the Corbelan but runs into Jorn. They attempt to flee, only to find their path blocked by xenomorph cocoons, indicating that the creatures are metamorphosing into their adult forms. Jorn tries to destroy one of the cocoons with an electric whip, and at first it seems effective. However, he becomes entranced by the creature's acid blood, which burns through metal. Suddenly, the xenomorph sprays him with its corrosive fluid, leading to his gruesome demise. Kay reaches a door but is unable to open it. Tyler and Rain try to assist her, but they are attacked by facehuggers and are forced to flee. Andy seals the doors behind them, effectively trapping Kay inside. Despite Tyler's desperate pleas, Andy refuses to open the hangar door for her. They watch helplessly as a xenomorph assaults Kay, dragging her into the depths of the station. Once the initial shock subsides, Rain realizes that Andy has a new directive: to act in the best interest of the company. She understands they need to remove the chip from him. The synthetic insists that everyone should leave, promising to help them escape before returning to Jackson as per his new mission. He leads them to the laboratory, where Rook explains that the station discovered a unique substance intended to help humanity evolve into perfect beings capable of colonizing the universe. The Prometheus 5 was sacrificed for this mission, and its discovery is viewed as a divine blessing for humanity. This substance contains a genome that allows xenomorphs to manipulate their metabolism, and it can be rewritten into human DNA through blood, enabling instant human evolution. Andy locates a capsule filled with black liquid, now tasked with delivering the sample to the colony. He arms Rain and Tyler, hoping they won't need to use it since the xenomorph's acidic blood can easily breach the ship's hull. As the group makes their way to the tug, they come across a massive incubator filled with creatures. Suddenly, Tyler hears Kay's voice and rushes off to assist her, compelling Rain to follow. They find Kay cocooned but alive. Andy suggests injecting the black liquid into her, but Rain disagrees, suggesting instead to place Kay in a cryo chamber for Earth's doctors to save her. At that moment, a xenomorph attacks and drags Tyler away. Andy freezes, leaving Rain to pull Kay to the lift and seal the doors behind them. Rain catches a final glance from Andy, realizing she can't abandon him. She sends Kay to the ship with instructions on handling the sample capsule and returns to help Andy, removing the extra chip from his brain to restore his original programming. However, the creatures begin to awaken, and when Rain asks Rook to open the doors, he refuses to risk the station. Andy's access codes are also blocked. Meanwhile, Kay reaches the Corbelan, where she hears Rook's request to transfer control to him so he can take her to the colony. Believing the black liquid will heal her wounds and protect her unborn child, she injects herself with it. Rain temporarily disables the artificial gravity on the ship to shoot down the attacking xenomorphs, and she and Andy make their way to the lift towards the Corbelan, dodging the splattering acidic blood. However, when gravity is restored, Rain loses her weapon and falls into the elevator shaft, where a xenomorph intercepts her. As the acidic blood begins to burn through the ship's metal, Andy struggles to hold the lift, but it eventually crashes down, crushing the xenomorph and leaving Rain clinging to the shaft wall. A new creature appears, but Andy arrives with a new weapon and kills it. They hear a warning about an impending collision and hurry to the tug, which comes under the control of the mothership just before the station collides with the rings, destroying it along with Rook. Rain halts the Corbelan and informs Andy that their plans have changed. They're heading to Ega. Suddenly, alarming signals come from Kay's capsule. Rain rushes to it, discovering that Kay is giving birth to an egg, from which a mutant xenomorph hatches. Rain ejects it into a cargo capsule, arming herself as she descends to eliminate the creature, but has already grown and escaped, using Kay's body as nourishment. Hearing Kay scream, Rain rushes to help, only to find Andy injured by the monster. She witnesses the xenomorph kill Kay and narrowly escapes into the transition chamber. Putting on a space suit, she lures the xenomorph into the cargo hold, and as the tug lands on the ring's surface, she ejects it into space. Although the xenomorph nearly crushes her helmet's visor, Rain manages to break free and climb back onto the ship. Later, she places Andy in one of the stasis chambers and contemplates their future as she prepares to enter cryosleep herself. This film serves as a solid representation of the franchise. While it may not break new ground, the director seems to understand that delivering what fans want is preferable to taking risks with experimental concepts. The result is a well-crafted adaptation featuring strong cinematography, practical and computer effects, and 2 hours of suspenseful storytelling.